Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. Valentine's Day is the inspiration for today's project. It's an origami heart. Origami is a Japanese word that basically means folded paper, usually in a 3D shape, and often it's done without glue or more cutting. But what we do need is a square of paper, origami. This is origami paper, and I've never seen it any other way except square. And using this size paper, you can make this size heart. So that gives you a scale of how it works. You can also use scrapbook paper, which is usually a square. It's usually 12 by 12 inches. And this worked out well. You can also use extra gift wrap paper. I always save it just to use for different projects. But what if you have a normal size, what I call normal, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper? It can be white that you draw on. It can be a color like this. We still need to use it as a square. I'll show you a very easy way to do that. We place it this way so the widest part of the paper runs this direction. Then we choose the bottom corner, either one. I'm choosing this one. And what I'm going to do is match this edge to this edge. So I'll bring this up and sort of press it at the corner so it gets nice and clean. And then hold it and press this like this. Now you can either hold this and use scissors and cut along this line, although the paper tends to shift a little bit. Or you can take a pencil, which is what I often do, and just draw a line right there on the edge of the paper. And then cut on that line. And we are making a very good square. So there's something easy to cut here. And I always keep the excess paper to use for something else. I do keep scraps, and I do use them. So now you have a very nice square. The next step is to fold it this way so that the line, the crease line, is up and down. This is a guideline. Now we're going to take the bottom point and bring it up to match the top point. And I always pull it down like this and go to either side. And we do want to make these fold lines nice and crisp. You can do it with your fingers or use something like this to make it a very crisp line. And the reason we do that, there's two reasons. One, it looks nice. The other is that it makes a guideline that you can see easily. And that is really helpful. Okay, the next step in making this heart is to take the top point and bring it down to meet that crease right in the middle. You can see, hope you can see that. Now remember, you can replay the program whenever you'd like, if you want to see this again. Now we bring the bottom point up to the top edge of the paper. And again, bring this down and then across to make a nice crease. You can also use a pencil to make those creases even sharper. Now this doesn't look, I'm going to hold this up. This doesn't look too much like a heart right now. But wait till you see the next step. Okay, now the center line is really important. And you don't have to do this, but I'm doing it. So hopefully you can see that just a little bit better. Now I want this bottom edge to meet this center line. So I'm going to put my finger here and then fold this up as precisely as possible to meet that center line, and then press this. And again, a nice sharp crease. Starting to look more like a heart. Now we're going to pick up the other side and do the same thing so that the two edges meet. Hold it and then press that. And you can see it's looking more like a heart. Now we're going to turn this over and fold these top 2 points down. Doesn't matter what order, and I'm folding it down to this top edge. That's our guideline. Pulling this one down. So we now have those down and we give it a nice crease. Still has these 2 points. So we'll bring those in about the same amount as that point right there, and pull these in, and you have an origami heart. Now you can also write a message. Take a strip of paper, write a message, fold it in half, snip the ends if you want, sort of decoratively. I think that looks nice. And then you can just tuck it in like that. So there you can have Valentine's, Mother's Day, if you want, because hearts are a universal sign of happiness, really. You can send a yellow heart and say, put a little message, get well soon, or maybe even a blue heart. I miss you. I'm blue. You can do metallic paper. You can say happy birthday. This was origami paper. You have lots and lots of options. You can go beyond Valentine's Day and do it year-round. So I hope that you enjoy making your origami heart. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. It's great fun to dye Easter eggs. Here are some ideas what we're going to do today. We're going to tie-dye them. You're probably familiar with tie-dye t-shirts, but did you know we can tie-dye an egg? I'll show you what you need to do it. You need an egg or 2. It can be a brown egg. The color will be more subtle, but it will still work. The eggs can be hard-boiled, or they can be blown out, which means little holes have been made in them and the contents blown out. YouTube has a bunch of videos on that. It's rather messy, so I didn't want to do it here. The next thing we need besides food colors is water, and then either a piece of paper towel or a round coffee filter, or even a paper napkin. I've tried all of those, and they all work. I think a paper towel is actually the handiest, so I'll use that for a demo. So we take the egg, and the idea is to cover the egg with the paper towel as completely as possible. So I do the middle first, and then bring up these bigger ends like that. And then kind of smoothen out. We want it to be as form-fitting to the egg as possible. And once you have that, you can either tie it with a twist tie, a rubber band, or even a piece of string. We want to be able to remove it later and give it a good twist. Now it's ready to go. Now we'll take food dye, and I'm showing you these food dyes. There's only 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue. And those are primary colors. You can mix green, purple, and orange with these. You can also buy them already mixed, so it depends on what you have in the cupboard. So the first thing we want to do is drop on a few colors. It looks like orange, it will be yellow. And there's different ways to do this. You can either make the colors close together, or you can leave a little space. And I like the idea of leaving a little bit of space between them, because we're going to mix this with water. This looks pretty dark. These colors are pretty strong. And the last one is red. And I'll just spread it out however you want. You can do all cool colors like greens and blues. I think I'll dot a bit of green on this, what looks like orange. Hopefully that'll turn into green. And I'll do a bit more yellow here so it overlaps on the red, so it'll look more orange. A few more colors here. And give it a good squirt. just drop it down. And it really helps if the paper is not wet yet, because I have discovered that if you wet the paper first, which I thought was a good thing to try, the colors just sort of ran everywhere. So this way, they sort of stay in position. And I think one more drop of, you can see how the yellow is making orange with the red. I think I'll put another drop of blue right here and see what happens. Okay. The next step is to take a mister, a spray bottle of water. Now, if you don't have one, you might be able to just drop it on with a dropper or even your fingertips. But what I'm going to do, and you do this over, you protect your work surface, of course. Spray right into the, I don't know if you can see that, into the heart of the color, the center of the color. And you'll see how that's turning green right there? That's the blue and yellow mixing. And I'll do a little bit more water over here. So if you have a spray bottle, it works so well. And I think that's good. And the next step is you can put the rubber glove on first, which would have been a good idea. Because what we want to do is to squeeze it, because we're going to press the color to the egg. And if you do a bunch of eggs, you might do different color combinations. So the color will come off on the glove, and I wash it in between eggs. So then you leave this to dry. Now you can leave it, there's a lot of time here. You can do it for 10 minutes. You can leave them overnight. If you have boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, I wouldn't do it very long because you don't want to disturb, the quality of the boiled egg. If it's a blown out egg, you can leave them to dry overnight because it makes it easier to unwrap this. Now let's see what this looks like. I did mostly, yellows and pinks. Isn't that fun? And it goes in the basket. This one I did mostly blues and greens. So it's sort of a cool egg. You can also do just one color and leave some space between the dots. And then it will be, say, red with pink edges. That could also be very pretty. Also, save this paper because you can do something with it. You can wrap a very small gift. You could cut the strips and make a flower out of it. It could be a bow on a gift. This, I'll show you some of them. This was a paper napkin. Isn't that gorgeous? This one is really wild, multicolored, but it gives you an idea. This is a coffee filter. This could make a fun flower very easily. This was, I tried a bathroom tissue, but it tore really easily. It worked. So, more blues and greens. That was this egg right here. The paper looks so good. Here's the last one. So test it. What I recommend, especially if you're working with hard-boiled eggs, is just take one and test it. Take it out of the paper and see how the color is. And it will still be wet, so be sure and wear a rubber glove, or you will have tie-dyed hands. Not that that's a bad thing, but it does take a few days for the color to wear off. So I hope you have lots and lots of fun dyeing eggs for Easter, for spring, for any other reason. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. We are making a crown for all seasons, birthdays, holidays, or just for fun. Now the paper will give you the attitude of the crown. Purple, green, and gold are the colors of Mardi Gras. So this is for Mardi Gras, and it actually works. It's 6 triangles of paper. and I'll show you how to do it. It has an origami beginning, but we're going to use some glue. We can use scraps of gift paper to make something like this, very pretty. It could be queen for a day for mom on Mother's Day. It could be pretty for a birthday. I like that. Or we could do something totally different and do all black for Halloween. You could put orange pom-poms on the top, or Halloween stickers, or you could make your own stickers, you know, like ghosts and goblins and spiders and whatever you'd like, and glue those on. You can also do red, white, and blue for July 4th and put a very large metallic star in each section. That is really cool. And for St. Patrick's Day, which is what I'm doing now, we're using shades of green. Well, I did tuck in a blue-green here because I thought it looked pretty. And that's called artistic license. So we artists get to do whatever we want. Now this is made of 6 squares of paper that are folded in half to make triangles. I will show you how to cut them. Using this kind of paper, 8.5 by 11, or 9 by 12, or any other paper you like the gift wrap paper. I did show you how to take this size paper and cut a large square. Now we're going to make 2 squares. So I'll show you how to do that. It's similar. First thing is we keep the paper this direction. The widest part is this way. But this time we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to make the edges meet. And we're going to crease it very nicely right here. You can really crisp it up with a pencil or something like that. And then we're going to turn it this way. So the widest part is again this way. And now we take one corner, either one, doesn't matter, and we're going to bring this edge up to this edge. And we're going to make sure that it folds nicely at the corner. Match those edges and then press it like that. And then I'm going to draw a line here on the fold, and that's going to be the cut line. This is pretty easy to do. Just cutting on that line. And then keep this for another project. And I'll open this up and you'll see 2 squares connected. So I'll just cut between them. So we're going to need 3 sheets of paper in any color you like. I mean, this could be fun for a birthday, choosing, I don't know, a kaleidoscope of colors. Now we have 2 triangles. We'll refold it on that fold that's already made. Just refold it. And now, to get a round shape, what we'll do is, this is the fold line. We're going to fold this up like this and match the points. And then crease this bottom edge. I'm going to double press it again. Again, point is up. We fold this in half. And we match those 2 points. Bring this up. I didn't quite do that exactly right. And then crease that. So there we got that. And the reason we crease it is because it sort of makes a roundish shape. So we can make a crown. Now I will take this remaining triangle right here. This is where we use glue. I'll use this as a scrap of paper. I like to use a glue stick because it doesn't wrinkle the paper. Liquid glue might wrinkle paper. And I'm just going to glue about 1 inch of one end. And then tuck this in halfway into the last triangle. It's about halfway because the point on the other triangle is going to meet this line right here. So there we have 6. Now to attach it, to finish it, I will just glue this one right here, again about 1 inch, and tuck it into this last piece to the halfway point. And I'm going to press it to get the glue to really adhere. And there you have St. Patrick's crown. Now, if you wanted, you could embellish this with, say, shamrock stickers, or make little rainbows or something, whatever you like. But this can go in so many different directions depending on the paper you use. So, happy St. Patrick's, happy Halloween, and happy birthday. I hope you have great fun making your own crown. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. It's time for slime. Let's make some. I have a very easy recipe for us. It calls for ½ a cup of cornstarch, which is powdered dry corn that's been sifted, very, very fine. We need a ¼ cup of water and some food coloring. I think I'll make it a really icky green, sort of a slime green. So I'll just put maybe 2 drops. It's easier to tint the water than it is when you start mixing. Cornstarch has very unusual properties. I've been fascinated by it for years. Now we're going to add this tinted water. Ooh, that's a nice green. And we'll mix it. And this is the hard part, because the mixture we're making is neither a solid nor liquid. You'll see cornstarch has the oddest properties. It's actually called Newtonian liquid, named after the ancient scientist Newton. Very hard to mix this. It just wants to, you can see it's runny, but it's also stiff at the same time. So it has the most unusual properties. Just mixing this. I mean, maybe an adult has to mix this for you. Or maybe not. Maybe you can do it. But just keep on mixing until the water and the cornstarch are thoroughly combined. This is getting there. Yeah, it is. It looks liquid. But you'll see in a minute. I wonder if you can add glitter to this. Maybe. So it's very, very slimy. Yet it tends to be very solid when I try and pick it up. So I'll pick up some, and it is just so icky. Very fun to play with, but you'll see when you try and pull it, you're not pulling through a liquid, you're pulling through what feels like a solid. It is wild. Once you get, it's so much fun to play with that it makes slime. So I hope you have, see what a quick craft this is. I promise you, you can't really tell by looking at it. But when I'm pulling my fingers through this, it feels like a solid. So I hope you have a good time with slime. Don't put this down the drain, it'll clog the drain. You have to toss this in the garbage. This goes in the trash. Oh gosh, funny feeling. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.